thank you, Shiva, and good afternoon, everyone. Chika as well. It's a great pleasure. In fact, it's a huge honour to be back here in my hometown of India, and that's Chennai. As you say, I was out here in 96, 97, a young boy trying to build a career in cricket, and I saw this as being an obvious platform, because I think there's one thing that's really sacred to Chennai, and that is great affection for the game of cricket. And it's such a great pleasure to be able to take on board some of that passion. And that started way back, as you said, right before even Test match cricket started, and that incredible series in 2001 for me personally, but also, you know, it'll be remembered for a very long time, that series, a little bit like the last series also just this summer that's been. Chennai as a ground, Chopak Stadium, that deep connection, wandering off with Mathew, you know, back then and saying, I'm going to make a Test match 100 him, and he was laughing at me. I had this almost a sixth sense, if you like, of connection to this community. Certainly to its love of the game, its commitment to family, its beautiful history and heritage in the culture of the game, its fabulous regions as now I explore. TMPL has given me personally an opportunity to go down to places like Tirunelveli and to Madurai, and even more close to my heart, a community like Kovalong, you know, where I love to surf, I love to fish, and I love that beach way of life. So, you know, I feel very, very blessed, Shiva, and I'm sure that season 2 is going to be another remarkable season, unveiling, you know, lots of new talent, explore the fact that these grounds have had a second year of the competition as well, so they'll be much more conducive without the timeline pressure of having to actually stage an event. They'll be ready to and match fit, so to speak. So too will the broadcast partner Star, who put great faith in this tournament, and last year it really revealed, you know, that it was a leading ecosystem to create regional sport, regional cricketing properties, and I think it was great to be a part of it. It doesn't need to be any more complicated than that. You can see why it's worn all across this region. It's comfortable, it's light, it's cool, and I love it. And it's you know, it's just part of who I am. When I text privately, when I text my family back home, and they've been watching the videos and the images on Facebook, all I can say is, when in Rome, do what Romans do. We've been in positions where we're debating about, you know, what's the relevant amount of cricket that gets played and scheduled, you know, across the world. We get challenged every day, you know, these tournaments that are coming up, are they too much and adding too much of a layer to it? The reality of it is, I don't believe that any one of the formats of the game cannibalises the other. I think T20 cricket and its evolution has created a growth in the game that's been unprecedented. And if one thing is for certain, I think in this country there's been a remarkable interest from the female side of the sport. I think in Australia it's been a little less than that, but now with Women's Big Bash League, another prominent T20 tournament that's come up, I see young girls picking up the bats every day in Australia now and balls and loving it just like the men do. You know, so each one of these games is actually cross-promoting the other. The challenge, of course, is that there's only so many players, isn't there? And there's only so many great players as well. And cream naturally rises to the top, and when they're at the top, then there's an enormous pressure for them to be playing. We had some 14 Test matches in India last season, domestic games of cricket. That's unprecedented. Never heard of that before. I think if we played, as Australians, if we played 14 Test matches across the whole year, we would have been lucky, and that would have been in multiple venues. So there's a remarkable quantity of cricket, such as the appetite of our great game. Our challenge, of course, is to make each tournament relevant. Now, the TMPL is relevant. Why? Because it's giving opportunity to young players, which otherwise talent like yourselves would not have been able to see. It's giving broadcasters a platform to develop an ecosystem within a regional community. Wonderful opportunity. And it's not in conflict, I don't think. In fact, I think it's promoting, as you said right at the top, LS, a talent identification for CSK and other franchises that we'll be watching with keen interest. So all of these factors make it a good choice at the right level of performance to be able to be very successful. and no bearing, of course, on the international game, which has a crowded landscape. We've just seen the Champions Trophy. Pakistan and India not have risen to the top of that tournament, would we have had the same interest in the Champions Trophy? Australia is due to play England, and we're due also to come out here in October for one days and T20s. Is there going to be interest in that tournament? Of course. Of course there is. Is there as much interest as the IPL as what the T20s against Australia and India? It's debatable. You know, so there's holes and opportunity in the great game to be able to assess, I think, the landscape of cricket and make an impact moving into what has been a remarkable build over the last 2 decades. From when we first started, certainly when I first started as a kid, it was non-professional. It then went to semi-professional, and then in the back half of my career it was fully professional. And all at the base of that was a great love of cricket.